So now let's pause. Mindfulness breathing, for those of us, especially resting here, heard a lot of teachings on the vital essence and so forth, it's very easy to want to go right there, to taking the mind as a path, or shamatha without a sign. But for those of you who spent, a few thousand, maybe more than that, more than 1,000 hours of meditation and taking the mind as a path, you know that it really stirs up a lot of upheavals. Most of them unexpected. You came here thinking you were fine, and after you've been here for a couple of months, not nearly as fine as I thought. And if you look at it just sensibly, you know that whatever upheavals are arising in the body, whether it's jerks or whether it's spasms or all kinds of weird sensations coming up, or intense lethargy coming in sometimes, or agitation, you got ants in your pants, you can hardly sit still, things coming up physically, internal upheavals. It can even catalyze things in the environment. They're called outer upheavals. And then, of course, as you're doing this simple practice, minding your own business, just resting in awareness and observing whatever comes up and goes back in the mind, finding that it's stirring up all kinds of things that you might not have even known they were there. Memories, traumas, miseries, sadness, lust, resentment, hatred. And you're just resting there. These things start bubbling up. These are the secret upheavals, the things that are happening secret because nobody else knows what's going on. You do because it's entirely internal. And so you may have come here, I've heard CCR is really nice to be able to meditate. It's going to be really peaceful and really beautiful, and I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to dwell in samadhi and it's going to be so nice. Anybody experience that? Maybe on occasion now and then, but in the meantime, all kinds of upheavals arise and just get used to it. That's what's supposed to happen. If you have a filthy rag, just filthy, filled with all kinds of toxins, and you put it in some hot water with soap, and you start really, you're going to expect a lot of really toxic stuff coming to the surface of the water, right? It's not that you polluted the water, or that you polluted the rag, but now you've got it in this hot water with soap, and the stuff that was already in the rag is now coming up to the surface, and it stinks, or it's obnoxious, or really distasteful, or extremely unpleasant. But that's because you're cleaning the rag. And that's what you're doing when you take the mind as a path. You're not, in fact, there's a little bit of in and out that we'll get to a little bit later. But these are the upheavals that come with the territory. And Yangchen wrote a beautiful essay, kind of a 5-year kind of look back on the first 5 years of our center here. And she gives a good warning to anybody who's interested in coming here. Don't expect it's going to be a bed of roses. For some incredibly pure individuals, it might be, but most people are not. And so now, let's come back to that. So I said, this is the core practice in the Vajra essence, taking the mind as a path. But as His Holiness said, that's subtle. And it can really stir up a lot of things that we really would like not to be stirred up, but they have to be. And sometimes we might just look at this guy and say, can somebody give me a break here? This is getting a bit too much. I'm tired of being so agitated, tired of flip-flopping with emotions, tired of having my mind stirring up so many thoughts and images, memories and so forth. It's just getting exhausting. I thought this would be a lot more fun than it is. And you might wonder, it's like trying to go up a steep hill in second gear. And you find it, what's called chugging? Lugging, isn't it? You're going in second gear, but it's a really steep, and you go, the car's come almost whining at you. Please give me a break. It's too steep for second gear. What do? You could jump out of the car, but you might want to keep that car. You can downshift and maybe go into first gear, 4-wheel drive. And then, now we're going. The first gear is mindfulness of breathing. We may get to a point at times where we're just either so tired or so bored or just so fed up that we just feel, I don't want to meditate. I can't meditate. I just can't meditate. And I would say, I understand, but I've been there. Didn't stay there, but I've been there. But I could ask, are you too tired to breathe? I get to the point where I'm so tired, I just don't want to breathe in anymore. I want to breathe out and then I'm done. Oh, heck. You're not too tired to breathe. Well, then you got a choice. You want to breathe unmindfully, you want to breathe mindfully. That's a choice. You can be breathing in and out and just let your mind go all over the place, roaming around like a stray dog in a garbage dump. But that's not relaxing. Or you can breathe mindfully. And how difficult is that? Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So this practice, as in a contagious disease, whether it's COVID or in the future something far more virulent and even more contagious, mindfulness of breathing is a medicine. Number one, to prevent you from coming down with it, contracting compulsive ideation. Prevent it from happening. Because you're maintaining mindfulness, unwavering mindfulness between sessions. Or if on occasion you do come down with a bout of compulsive ideation, apply the remedy. Mindfulness breathing. Relaxing deeply and releasing thoughts with every out breath. That's soothing, relaxing, like, oh, that was not hard. Okay, time to breathe in. But that wasn't hard. So we've all had the inoculations. Everybody here, we've all heard Dharma teachings before. We've already had the inoculations, the vaccines against compulsive ideation. But this afternoon is designed as a booster shot. Because this compulsive ideation keeps on mutating, coming in with different flavors and so forth. And so now we move on. But no, now I would like to pause. Let's just take a couple of minutes, find a comfortable position. And again, supine is fine here if you want to. But let's just take a couple of minutes to put into practice what the Buddha said. 5 minutes, starting now. But with the spine straight. I'll let my feet be down for the time being. Now lay your awareness down in the space in front of you without looking at anything. In other words, no dualistic grasping. Suspend that tendency. And peripherally, without looking at the body or looking at sensations of the breath, you can't help but notice the breath is coming in, the breath is going out. Just note it. And note the relative duration, so you're noting the rhythm of the respiration, long or short. And with every out-breath, let it be like a sigh of relief. Don't try to make the breath long or short. Let it flow as effortlessly as you possibly can. But every time the breath flows out, relax deeply so that out of sheer tension, you're not holding any of the breath back, but just utterly release as you breathe out. And release thoughts, memories, images, whatever comes up. Just let them flow away. As the breath flows in, very gently arouse your awareness. Bring it right into the immediacy of the present moment. And note the duration as the breath comes in. Oh, and now you can relax again. The breath flows out, utterly relaxed in body and mind. With every out-breath, return to the natural silence of the mind, where the compulsive ideation is just, at least momentarily, suspended. And your awareness is floating there in the space in front of you, not latching onto anything. And this is natural pranayama. It balances the mind, balances the whole nervous system, and is leading to, incrementally, this extraordinary upgrade of body and mind, yielding mental and physical pliancy. So it actually feels good to have a mind. It actually feels good to have a body. Wouldn't that be nice? And this practice is allowing your body and mind to restore their own balance, not obstructing that with compulsive ideation and all the mental afflictions that can come in its wake. So that's 5 minutes. We're all busy, I would say all of us, whether we're Wall Street brokers or we're mothers taking care of children or farmers, meditators. I would say we are all equally busy. All equally busy. Because we're all doing something every moment of the day that we prioritize. And maybe it's watching soap operas. Maybe it's napping. Maybe it's playing the stock market. Maybe it's running a retreat center. But everybody's equally busy. Everybody's filling every moment of the day with something. And sometimes because they're forced to. If you're bare subsistence, barely making enough to live, in those moments you have to get out there and get food for your family. You don't have much choice. So you're busy trying to get enough food for your family. It's not a life of leisure and opportunity. You have to survive to do anything else. But many people are not in such dire straits. But we're all equally busy. And the question is, what do we want to be busy with?